What's up, folks, and welcome back to the channel. This is a project I've actually been excited about for a long time. I've been talking to the project owner about the launch of this since early June, and it's just finally coming to fruition. And I feel a little bit bad for these guys because they've been working on all these different ways to make it perfect and give it some longevity. And then we just had a total train wreck in DeFi lately. So, tough time for them to launch, but I think this project is actually really good. And I've thought that for quite a while. But the project is called Alpha 365. And you're going to see a bunch of my, influencer buddies, a bunch of YouTubers on there making content on this one because it's a solid platform. A lot of the names, of course, you'll be familiar with. My buddy Crypto Phil from Crypto Phil Passive Income, Experience Crypto 365, I think Blockchain Ben, anyway, a lot of people. So expect to see some really good videos and good content come out on this platform early on. If you like those other guys, there's some other content creator that you'd rather join their team, feel free to go do that. This is obviously just for informational purposes only. I've already got set up and got my NFTs and everything to get into this one. And you guys know how I roll. If I can get into a project early, I like to do so. This one is going to launch this Friday at 2 p.m. UTC, I believe. And I don't even know if I'm going to launch this video this Friday. Full disclosure, I'm actually filming this a couple days early because I'm going to be out of town, but I want to make sure that if I've got putting any content on it, that it gives you guys an opportunity to jump in right away as soon as the timer starts, because as we've seen in the past, for the most part, if you get in early on these protocols, you have a higher chance of making some cash. So I'll put this video out now. I'm going to give you the details. It's kind of a complex platform just because there's a lot of different variables as far as revenue sources and all that type of stuff. I'll show you here in a second as we look at the white paper. But one thing I can't show you right now is actually how to launch the DApp and get in. But trust me, that's going to be the easiest part, because really you're just going to come. I got to make sure you have your USDC. If you're watching my channel, I know you already have a MetaMask or a Rabby and you're on the Binance Smart Chain. So if you've got USDC, you're going to swap that for the Alpha token, and then you're going to put it in the vault. So this platform is really interesting to me because it's kind of a combination of a lot of other platforms you should be used to. Part of this platform reminds me of some of the stuff they did in Furio, some of the stuff they did in Pulstrip, reminds me of some aspects of Flex IRA, and so on. So really interesting protocol. Let's dig into it. So I'm going to crash the white paper just so you guys can see all those details, and there's a lot of stuff there. I'm going to go over it pretty quickly because this video would be an hour long if I talk about each individual segment. I'm just going to give you the basic details. If you want to get in, you can. You can also come to the website. Obviously, there'll be a link in the description down below, and look at the white paper and just read through that stuff by yourself if you want. But here's the basic info before we actually go to the white paper. Pretty simple. It's something that you decide you want to do and you want to get in. You're basically going to lock up your Alpha tokens to get up to 1.5% a day, and that is a variable ROI, and it depends on the actions you take. So if you're compounding or claiming or making new deposits or whatever, it's going to skew the amount of percentage that you're going to get. So obviously positive actions in the system will help you build your balance up faster, but there is going to be a point where you've got to start claiming. You can't just compound into perpetuity. So overall, I think they've done a pretty good job with the tokenomics to kind of make it fair, gamify it a little bit, but try to make it so the protocol actually lasts a long time. So when you're ready to get in on Friday, boom, click launch DApp. It's going to be pretty simple. There's going to be an area to swap. You're going to take the USDC you have in your wallet. You're going to swap it for Alpha tokens. You're going to stuff it in the vault. And from then on, you just need to create a strategy of how much you want to compound and how much you want to claim. So highly recommend jumping over to the website and spending some time on the site learning on your own. Obviously, do your own research. All this stuff is risky. It's DeFi, so everything in DeFi is high risk. But let's jump into the white paper real quick. And like I said, I'm gonna be fast with this. So it's the first DeFi project that combines on ROI DApp, betting, jackpot, trading, and real estate. So it is an ROI DApp that has external revenue sources. Some people really prefer that it be that way. Some people don't. It's truly just a matter of preference. And for me, I like a mix of both. Now, I will say this white paper is really long, so you're going to have to set a few minutes aside to actually go through all of it. As I stated before, you are going to be swapping that USDC for this Alpha token. It's on BEP20, which means it's on the Binance Smart Chain. You will have the ability to swap that to get your tokens that you actually need for the DApp on the swap tab. Vault is pretty easy to understand. Once you've got them, you're going to stuff them into a vault. You can have multiple vaults, which is kind of like Pulstrip has done, right? You can invest in up to 10 vaults or something like that. Pretty similar over here on Alpha 365. As you can see here, the vaults might look kind of like this. This is obviously a pre-launch screen, so it may be a little bit up to date, or it may be more updated once you finally see it. Basically, you're going to have your vault balance in each individual vault, what your real deposits were, what you've claimed, what you've compounded, so all the details you need in each. For me, I'm just going to kind of keep it simple. DeFi has been complicated for me lately, and I'm sure for all you guys. So what I'm going to do out the gate, I'm just starting one vault. I'm going to dump all my tokens into that one in particular vault. Then if everything keeps rocking and it seems like it's one that's really going to catch on, I'll start a second vault just like I did with my Drip Network wallets, or I started to build up one behind it. So I always had one following. If you're on the road to get max wallets, then it's always nice to have another one that's a little bit smaller that's kind of following it up. All right, so they did do a pre-sale round. Some of you guys might have been involved in that. If you are, your tokens are just going to be deployed, I think today or tomorrow if you haven't got them already. So even if you actually have them in the liquidity probably hasn't been added. So that'll get in there in the next couple of days. Pre-launch, that liquidity, of course, was supplied by the pre-sale. And of course, as we've seen in the past, there is a tax system that is going to keep this more sustainable. Moving on. As I said, each account, so each person or each wallet, I guess, can have up to 10 vaults. Once you actually have your USDC, you'll have a screen like this that'll be on the dApp that, of course, we can't launch right now because it's not live. But once you approve the USDC and buy it, it's going to deposit that directly into your wallet, or directly into your vault, I should say, and that'll get you started. Now, they've got this little alpha range. This is something that you're going to want to pay attention to. This alpha range is kind of like how full the battery is. So this is the part that'll be a little bit confusing for some, and it's even a little bit confusing for me right now because I'm the type of person who I can read through this stuff and get it conceptually pretty well, but I actually have to click the buttons and play with it to like really understand it. So that said, my advanced strategy, or whatever I'm really going to dial in, is going to happen on my next video. I'll start to lay out exactly what I want to do. So first off, if all you're doing is compounding, your battery is going to be full, and once you exceed 10, then all you're going to be able to do is claim. So once you've exceeded 10 on the alpha range and you try to go in and continue to compound, that button will be deactivated, and all you're going to be able to do is claim for the time being. As you're going to drop your points down that alpha range, and then you're going to be in a position where you can either claim or compound. Now, if all you're doing is claiming, then your alpha range is going to drop below 0. And if that happens, your daily percentage rate is going to be reduced to 0.5. If that happens, you're going to be in vault prison. I don't know if it's going to actually turn red, but if it is, it'll show you that you're in prison. And what you're going to need to do is compound 10 times in a row. That way you can get yourself out of prison. Now, it can get even worse. If you're already at the percentage rate of 0.5% and all you do is continue to claim, and that AR range drops below the value of 0, you'll go all the way down to 0.25% until the expiration of that vault. Moral of the story is, here is the contrast between the two vaults. This is a vault that's in vault prison, and this is a standard vault. As you can see, this one's only getting 0.5%, and this one's getting 1.5%. So it may take you just a little bit to figure out exactly what the strategy is, but from what it looks like and how these ranges work, as long as you're compounding and claiming on a reasonable schedule, then it should keep you in that medium range and keep your percentage at least above 1%. So more on that later when I actually do my next video. I will try to figure out what the best compound claim schedule is, but for me, I'm going to probably try to keep it at 1%. So depending on how many claims, if that's a 5 and 2 strategy or whatever, I'll figure it out, and I'll obviously make a video on it. I'm sure also that a bunch of the other YouTubers that are going to be making content on this are going to figure out some cool stuff too. So I may watch the videos and the content of some other folks to try to figure out if there's a cooler way to do all this. All right, what else do you need to know? Okay, so this is kind of like Drip Network in that you need like a buddy code to get in. So you can use someone's referral link, or you can use their wallet address to get in, but you will need to use somebody's. Again, you do not have to use mine. If you've got someone else that you like watching their content on the internet, go ahead and use theirs. But if you don't have anyone else you like to follow, of course, you can always tag my wallet address and stuff it in there as your buddy. Now, they call these things Unity teams. It's pretty standard. You get 5% direct referral rewards. Runs on a round robin system. There's 10 levels. In order to get all those levels, you need to buy NFTs for all those levels, and I'm not going to do that. I think I've got 2 levels with my NFT, and I'm fine with that. Here's some more information on the system. If you are planning on getting into the protocol and making a team, because I know some of you guys are team builders, make sure that you don't forget to jump over and actually purchase that NFT. Cost of the NFTs is $250 a piece per line, per downline. So again, mine is this 2, so it's 500. Some people are going to get all the way into these deeper ranges. For me, that's just too much money for what it is. I don't know if I'd recommend, even like on my Drip Network wallets, I don't think I ever went more than maybe 3 or 4. So max I'd probably do is 1,000. But some people are going to go deep if they're super big team builders. And to be honest, the longer this protocol lasts, if it really starts doing really well, these might end up being more lucrative if you're a team builder, so it may present an opportunity where it makes sense. I do want to talk about, let's see, so read over this because it's about the pools, and you've got some interesting stuff here. It shows you the flow chart of where the money goes. There's 1 million tokens in supply. Where is it? The tax system. So if I could say there's one downside of this, it's like the taxes seem kind of high to me. Buy plus deposits 13%, deposits 10%. Sell taxes 12%, 10 on compound, 12 on withdrawal, 10 on airdrop, 10 on wallet transfer, and they do have a dump tax here. So if you sell more than 50% of what your real deposits are, which is the sum of all your open vaults, then you're gonna get hit with a massive tax. So be careful with that. Most of us aren't gonna do that, except for people that are trying to take advantage of the system. So that might end up being a really good thing, but just be aware of it so you don't get yourself in a bad position. All right, this one does have some integrated sports betting, which is part of it. The system they created is called Omega, and apparently it's going to build up some pretty solid jackpots, so you're going to be able to win those. I am interested in seeing how this one goes. As you can see here, you can win one of the jackpots. To place a bet, each user needs to predict the final results of 13 sporting events and aim to correctly guess as many as possible. So I don't know how this is going to work. I'm interested to see this live in action because I do like sports betting. And so I don't know exactly how it works. If you get the most right, then you get the pot. If you're tied with someone else, you split the pot. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But that's just one more aspect of the protocol. They, of course, have a roadmap of a lot of different stuff that you could do. And I'll let you read through this. There's a legal disclaimer, and I'll tell you, none of this is financial advice. I'm getting in to play with this one. You can get in if you want to. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. None of this stuff is a requirement. If you're just watching this content because you like to support, thank you very much. If it's something you want to get into but you don't want to join my team, totally fine. If you're watching this content because you hate me and you're going to put terrible comments down below, thank you for watching. Trust me, it does happen. And if you have any questions on this one, just make sure you let me know down below and I'll try to answer them. Like I said, I will be on vacation, but I'll be in the chats and everything periodically. I'll probably be sitting on a beach answering messages and stuff like that. So I will be around, and then if not, I'm going to make a follow-up video, of course, when I get back. I got my laptop and my ledger, and where I'm going, I'm pretty sure this thing launches in like the middle of the night, so I may have to set myself an alarm to get in. All right, so that's it. That's the first quick pass on Alpha 365. I am going to do more videos as soon as I get back, so you can actually show the DApp and all that type of stuff, and how many vaults I've chosen and what I've decided to do. And then, of course, like I said, it's a little complicated. You want to figure out what the right compound claim strategy is. For me, I'm just going to compound maybe for the first week. Then once I get back into town and settled, I'm going to take a look, and maybe it's like a 5 and 2. We'll see what number that gets me on the scale, and then we'll go from there. So let me know what you think of this one. Things have been a little crazy in DeFi. This is a team that I trust. Like I said, I've been working with these guys for months, and they have been tinkering with stuff to just try to make sure it's as good of a protocol as possible. So it's not something they just slapped together last second as a cash grab. I really do think they wanted this to work. So that makes me feel confident enough to give it a whirl. And I gotta be honest, one day one of these protocols that we're playing with is gonna catch on, it's gonna take off, and it's gonna be really solid. So we'll see. This could be the one. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I know it's been a rough road in DeFi lately, but I'm hoping we're going to go on a nice long streak of great projects. So thanks for tuning in, and happy investing.